Welcome to part two. We're just waiting for James to log on. Women love him, men just want to own his remapped wheelchair. But he seems to plod on. Oh, James. I wonder what his thoughts are on the Anthony Yard situation. We're joined by James. James, I was just about to ask you your opinion on the Anthony Yard situation at the moment. Where does
The,
it go him Yard now?
the Anthony Yard situation. In fact, I watched an interview with Anthony Yard today. It was one with Talksport, and Simon Jordan was slagging him off. And after it had finished, after their conversation, and he hung around and he heard Simon Jordan slagging him off, and he started just saying about, he was like, oh, I just wait here just in case you've got anything to say. And he was saying like the Frank situation sorted itself out. Um, where he's going now, I think this is like the best in between fight he's had in a while. Even though I don't think it's not one for the hardcores, is it really, Lyndon Arthur? Especially because he dispatched him so violently in their last fight. But I mean, he's back on talking terms with Frank. He's in a good place with Frank, so he'll probably end up fighting. The Buatsi fight will probably happen if he can get through Arthur, which I think he can. And yeah, we'll probably have another mediocre fight after that if Buatsi can't do the job. Not Buatsi, it'll be Callum Smith, won't it? Because Callum Smith won that fight, so I think that's where he's headed. To be honest,
Yeah.
yeah, Callum Smith.
Would you like to see that fight?
Not really. Well, yeah, I would actually, because it just clears up the light heavyweight table in Britain, doesn't it? But I don't. The reason why I said not really at first is because I've not really any interest in Callum Smith. He's had a really odd career, like Yard has, really. But he just, at the very, very top level, he just seems to clam up. But like, they all talk about him like they talk about Anthony Joshua, and they say, "Oh, he can be light heavyweight world champion. He can do this. He can do that because he's knocking out, what the Americans would call tomato cans. Anybody can look good against the corpse, can't they? Do you know what I mean? That's why Conor Ben's done so well.
Yeah, yeah. Conor Ben's been carefully matched, though, hasn't he, really?
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, well, I mean, Callum Smith hasn't been carefully matched. I mean, he has won the super middleweight title, but against the elite, he just does this, doesn't he? He just covers up, and just lets them beat him up. Do you know what I mean? If he'd have thrown back a little bit more against Canelo, I think, well, it's easy for me to say. I'm sat here with my beer belly and my lazy eye. Do you know what I mean? So it's easy for me to say what I think Callum Smith should have done, but I don't think he made it easy on himself. He went there to lose that night, didn't he, against Canelo? When really an aggressive fighter, and even Beterbiev, he was bigger. He didn't have as much weight to lose. He could have gone there and been a little bit more aggressive, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think he's too placid at the top level.
What do you think will happen in Lyndon Arthur trilogy?
What do you mean we are?
Yeah.
Um, I think Yard just shown that and it's a shame really because I like Lyndon. He's a very good boxer. He was on the Olympic developmental squad, and I got a soft spot for him because I commentated on his debut. But if I'm being real, Yard smashes him again. I just think like that second fight was very, very conclusive. And I think it takes a very big man, someone with very, very strong mental fortitude to come back from a beating like that. And yeah, I just think Yard's got his number.
There.
Yeah, he'll stop him.
Do you think Yard got a raw deal in first one on points?
No, no, I think that was a masterclass by Lyndon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he only had one arm as well. But, and I mean, he did mention this in the Talksport interview, and I didn't know about it from, them talking about it at the time. It was during COVID. he had three or four of his family members ended up brown bread because of COVID. And he just said, I'm going to be honest with you, I shouldn't have taken the fight. He said, but in my head, because his dad died as well, and he was quite close to his dad. And the yard just said, he would have wanted me to carry on. He would have wanted me to fight. So I went in, and my head wasn't right. And I think the rematch showed that he wasn't talking bollocks because he absolutely he smashed Lyndon Arthur in the rematch, didn't he?
Oh yeah, I think he does Boatsy. I think he could take Callum Smith out. He's the big hitter out of all them.
Yeah, he could definitely take Callum Smith out, but he could take Callum Smith out as long as if Callum Smith has a little bit of belief in himself. Like the only time I've ever really seen Callum Smith have proper belief against anyone half decent was when he smashed Rocky Fielding. That was impressive. I remember that night, and because I used to be a big Callum Smith fan, and I remember the way he just took out Rocky Fielding because Rocky Fielding come to win as well, didn't they? And he just absolutely beat the crap out of him. But that was belief, and I think if he shows up like that, I don't think Anthony Yard can live with him because he's a better boxer. But I just think he goes into his shell. As soon as someone can hit, they've got the heavy artillery. He's like, oh, fuck, cover up. You know what I mean? And that's where Yard will have his number, like you say.
Do you remember when Eddie fed Rocky Fielding to Canelo?
Yeah, I
Oh my
do.
God, that will land touch slaughter, wasn't it? A bit like Gaffer
Yeah,
Beast to Broner and
I know.
William Rose to Andrade and Lee Purdy to Devin Alexander.
Yeah, I used to
What about the
talk to Bobby
beating he
about.
got cleverly? And,
I
and
know.
Ricky Burns, he got them smashed up as well, didn't he, over there, didn't
I
he?
know. And, well, Cleverly was Bricktop, wasn't it? No, he
Yeah,
took
but
Mate Kovalev.
Eddie got him smashed up though when he went to Eddie, didn't he? Got him done in.
Yeah, yeah. You never hear of him anymore, do you?
Cleverly, he put about 4 stone and he fucking likes to go out and have a good time for him, whatever. Good luck to him.
Fair play to him. He's got a Baths degree as well, isn't he? He's not
Yeah,
a silly boy.
you don't see him constantly living in boxing, do you? Or hanging around
No.
fucking saying, "Oh, do you remember when I was a world champion?" And you don't hear that from Cleverly, do you?
Well, I mean, he set himself up. He's got a 2-2 in mathematics, hasn't he? Like a degree in maths. So he's a clever bloke. He set himself up. He just happened to be a very good fighter. And
Yeah.
I mean, aside from that whole shit with Cleverly, not Cleverly, Bellew, that second fight was woeful, absolute crap. Um, Aside from that, I think he had quite a decent career. I found him quite entertaining to watch. Um, they were a bit over the top with he's the new Calzaghe, but that's what's going to happen, isn't it? When you've had a superstar from a certain area and then someone else comes along. So, like
Yeah,
you say, good luck to him.
yeah, you do. You do, mate. You do. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But do you know Boatsi, when I look at him, right,
Mm,
and I look what he's done in his career, he's like been in that. It's 2016 he got bronze, didn't he, in Rio?
yeah,
We're
he looked good.
2025, aren't we? And
I
he's
know.
still nowhere near a fighting for a world title, is he?
No, and I don't think his lack of activities not helped him in the slightest, does it? Really? Um, I think he made a big mistake going to Sky. Personally, he got caught
Who's
up in
really
the.
done well at Sky where you Ben Shalom and all that lot?
Well, no one. I mean, this is the thing. We rip into Eddie Hills, but I've always said it. Like he's amazing. Well, you say it. To be fair, I've heard you say it. You've given Eddie his flowers, and you've turned around and said he's a good promoter. He's just a bit of a dick. Do you know what I mean? He's
Yeah,
fantastic.
you know what I don't like about promoters? They say one thing and then they say, yeah, but yesterday we're lying today and telling the truth. It's like they're fucking playing a game with fucking fans and media, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
It's like the
And
lot. They say, well, I can say what I want. It's boxing, but if anybody at the FA or Football Association or Lawn Tennis Association or golf, whatever, there'd be fucking outcry, wouldn't there?
yep. And I mean that's why you mentioned Turkey before. That's why Turkey and the boys. It's been so easy for them to just sliver in. Like I'm not even
Like
going to say
snake.
snakes. Well, I wouldn't say snakes, no, because do you know what? Fact is, and I've mentioned it before, the Saudis haven't exactly got clean hands. If you're stupid enough, I mean, Frank Warren and Bricktop and Eddie Hearn, or Bricktop at least, he's not got clean hands, has he? I mean, he's been involved with some very unsavoury characters, But these Saudis are on another level. A journalist went into the Saudi embassy and he come out chopped up like dog food. Do you know what I mean? If you're stupid enough to trust a regime like that, you deserve everything you get. Couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of people, could it?
Nobody's going to take them on out there. They'll just sort it so they can't leave country.
No. But I mean, this is the thing though. I wouldn't call Turkey a snake. It's just all the people around him are just idiot. Well, all the people that were sniffing around him are just idiots. They've not done their research, have they?
No.
You can't have a go. You can't have a go at a lion, right? If you invite a lion into your house and then the lion bites you, you can't really have a go at it because it's in his nature. It's in the Saudis' nature. They're ruthless. So he's not a snake.
They knew what they were getting involved with, but like I said
Exactly.
earlier, they've dropped Bricktop and Hills, haven't they?
Yep. Just
They'd have
I
thought
love.
they'd be the main middlemen for him, wouldn't they? Not all working alongside him like Dana White. That's what they wanted. I mean, they were
Yeah,
more or
cool.
less saying they were partners with him anyway. And Tyson Fury's for 2 years been running around saying he started it all off with Turkey, which in theory he did, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. But I think as well, I think he's been given his orders personally. I think he's turned around and said, look, you know, not in so many words, but I think Turkey's turned around to him and gone, look, you're a fucking stain on the sport. I'm trying to create something with a little bit more decorum and take this lawlessness out of boxing, turn it into something respectable. And you and your stupid old man are running around fucking headbutting people, talking shit every 5 minutes. Tyson Fury's very, very quiet at the moment, isn't he? And, we talk about levels. Yeah, Daniel Kinahan's a very, very scary man. But then you've got Turkey, who, again, he's on another level. You've said it yourself. If they wanted to, John Fury would have never left Saudi, would he? They could have chopped him
No.
up.
No, what
So,
they've done there, just thrown him in jail and said, right, just leave him in there and we'll think about what we're going to do. And that's
I
a
know,
good
yeah.
point. They get back to you, some of them. If it's like a crime like that, they could get back to you in about 4 or 5 months without an hearing.
Hmm.
You know what they want over there, mate?
Yeah, definitely.
Look what they
He
did to
just,
David A for a discrepancy on some house he was buying over Villa. They
what
locked him up
happened?
when he got out there. The time after he went back, they locked him up because of this check that had bounced or something that had messed up. He
Hmm.
got locked up, David A.
Bloody hell.
No
I
messing
didn't know
about.
that.
Yeah, true story. Google it.
Mad.
I'll tell you
Well,
what
there you
else has
go.
been done out there as well. Oh,
Go
with this
on.
in America. I think it was Tarver. I think it was Tarver. I think that was in Vegas. He got locked up. Yeah, yeah, it
Swell's
was.
catching up with you, that lad.
I know. I
Good
know.
living.
Yeah, it is. The brick top situation at the moment, though, it's puzzling me what he's going to do in UK, James.
Well, we know what he's going to do in the UK, Russ. If you, like, use your noddle, mate. He's now, well, next month, he starts his own contract, doesn't he? So him and Hearn, right? Him and Hills, because you don't like to use his proper title. Him and Hills, they were padding up, weren't they, on Talksport? The lovings began with them two. So I reckon they're going to link hands, and they're going to start. Well, they're going to start grovelling to UK fans now because the real hardcores have seen what the Saudis are capable of offering. Right? They've really got to start pulling their fingers out now. If they want people to come to shows and they want people to invest in their product, them two have got to work together really, really hard on his own to deliver because Turkey's already shown, his side of the street is a lot more colourful. So
Yeah.
I just think they're gonna, well, they've not got any choice. have they? If Turkey's not putting the money in, they've got to go back to their roots. And I think we'll start seeing some decent shows with them too now, unless Hills retires.
Do you think Dana White and Turkey, if they control a lot, will pay people p peanuts?
Um, no, I've said it before. I think it's going to be a little bit of a seesaw because you've got two extremes, right? Turkey seems to love fighters. He's obviously not a fan of the promoters, but the fighters were getting paid really, really well. And then you've got the other side of the seesaw, Dana, and I think they'll just meet in the middle. And I think because there's always going to be, like, whilst I do believe that they are going to take over the sport, and they've got the Ring magazine, and they've got one champion and all that, there's always going to be an alternative, isn't there?
Mm.
Right. So with boxing, there will be an alternative. You'll still have. All right, I think Eddie Hills will retire. I do. I've said that before. But you're still going to have the promoters like Shalom and all that. They've still got to earn their living. So while there's an alternative on the table, Turkey's there, and I think he'll pay above. He'll pay above. What Dana believes is the market value for the fighters.
Do
Because
you
it's not
reckon
going to be
they'll
like
want to do it
UFC.
with just the ring belt and no other world title belts?
I think that's what they're going to do. Yeah, but they're going to do it under their roof. And there's always going to be somebody. There's always going to be somebody else, isn't there? Like John Robinson, who started the WBU or something like that. There's always going to be someone out there, and this is where Hearn and Bricktop this is how they're going to carry on earning their living. Really, having that alternative, they're going to start grovelling to UK fans, and they're going to have to put on some decent shows under that design contract. So either work together or you get vaporized. Two heads are better than one.
Vaporized.
Yeah, basically. They can't compete with the money, can they? And boxing's
No.
all about money. It's not even boxing's not a sport, it's a business. And
Do
when you've
you
got
think that's why Hills is talking part retirement and he's all a bit like, oof,
yeah, he's not got the
getting a bit of a chore for a minute at the moment. It looks it, doesn't
yeah,
it?
you can only get so far with bullshit. Like and when somebody's dwarfing you, I mean, Frank, Bricktop, he loves throwing a writ around here and there, doesn't he? I'm going to take you to court. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It doesn't even matter. Like these boys, the Saudi boys can just dwarf anything that they want to do. Take me to court. I'll kill you. Do you know what I mean? It's they're not afraid of anything. So yeah, I just that's why Hills is talking retirement. Yeah, because I don't
Yeah.
think he's got the stomach for it. He's not a young man now, is he?
Yeah. Frank Smith's talking it as well, though, isn't he?
Yeah, but that's understandable. And I'm not slagging him off by saying that, but he is. I imagine him and Hills are best mates, right? Hills plucked him as a 16-year-old. He'd given him his opportunity, and people like taking the piss and they say, "Oh, you're the T boy" and all of that. But he'll be on a good salary. I think he'll be on at least 750 grand a year. He's not going to be sat doing nothing for that money. You know what I mean? He's worked hard. I think he'll struggle to survive without Hills,
Yeah.
personally. Yeah, if you've had something like he's going to see him like a little bit of a father figure, isn't he? He like I say, he took him at 16 and he showed him the ropes and he's helped him move up the ranks and all that. If your mentor leaves and he's clearly every single interview with Frank Smith, he's basically a carbon copy of what Eddie said earlier that day or whatever. So he's going to be a little bit lost without him. And if you've got the money, you're not going to have the stomach, are you? Go and retire on your beach, have your tiki bar and all that. Like we take the piss out of Frank Smith, but I'd rather be in his position than mine. You know what I mean? I'm just seeing birds from Barnsley. Like he's in a different city every weekend of the year, isn't he? So fair play to him.
I don't think Frank Smith will miss boxing. He's set up for life, isn't he?
Yeah,
For
exactly.
them type of kids, aren't they? They're not going to want to be in a sport where they're not going to be dominating, are they?
No, and like I say, fair play to him. I think he actually comes across quite likable. I like Frank Smith. You've said before, isn't didn't you used to have a bit of a rapport with him as well, Ross?
Yeah, yeah. He got a bit funny about one comment when we tried, Dennis wanted to do Danny Kennedy, Conor Ben. So I stuck
Hmm.
on Twitter, 25
Yeah.
grand, I think it was the offer. And they were,
Hmm.
and he said something like, "Good luck with that one." You know what I mean, kind of thing. And I thought it would have bit, I don't know, a bit smarmy.
It
Anyway,
didn't come from him though,
they were
did it?
making offers to people. So
Yeah.
Big Ron came and
Yeah.
made an offer, and they didn't want to know. So there you go.
No, because they know what. Well, they know what they've really got. That's why they're cashing out. And you asked before
Conor
what I
Ben,
think.
Danny Kennedy. He'd have probably Conor Ben at that time and Danny Kennedy. That'd have probably been a 50-50
Yeah.
when Conor Ben were coming through.
Was Kennedy that bad? Conor Ben was
All right,
fucking
nice
awful,
lad,
mate.
Danny. But at that time, that'd have been a 50-50. Do you want to? What do you want to go on to part? Are we on part one here? We're on part
Part
two.
three, part three.
Oh,
We've
part
gone
three. Go
part
on to
three.
part three. Yeah. All right.
All
Cheers.
right, mate. Bye.
Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Oh, yaka.